All due respect, sir, I failed to see Squish Tech providing us with any research that would be of value. I mean, you're a stuffed animal company. What could you possibly have that we'd buy?
Oh, trust me, Doctor, you're gonna want to see what we've been working on. Any bigwigs like you would do anything to get their hands on our research. If you're not gonna give us the time of day, we'll just go public, and when you come crawling back to us, you'll be taken under by the waves and waves of offers from other companies willing to pay billions to have their name on it. All you have to do is send someone, anyone, out to our facility in about a week. It can be an intern for all I care. All that matters is that their mind is going to be blown.
We'll consider it.
Greetings, I'm Oliver Stanton, and welcome to Squish Tech! You may know us as modern America's favorite stuffed toy company, where we believe that no animal should go without its own plush. After the overwhelming success that Lillian the Golden Panda brought us thanks to viral social media marketing, we simply didn't know what to do with all the money we had made. And that's when I realized I could finally do what I've always wanted to do with my life. Explore the parts of our world yet to be seen by mankind, the deep ocean! With less than a quarter of it having been explored by humans, it was only a matter of time before we'd discover numerous undocumented creatures of the deep, and make new stuffed animals of them in the process. But none of us could have predicted just how big of a discovery we'd end up making. In the time since we've started the Squish Tech Marine Exploration Project, we have found and taken in 4 extremely strange creatures that have our sea life experts scratching their heads. We have deemed these crustaceous behemoths crabinoids. And very soon, you'll get to see them for yourself.
Hello? Hey! Josh, right? Josh, yeah, okay. My name's Wilson. I'm the operations director of the facility you're in right now, and I'll be your guide during your time here. This is Squish Tech's smaller secondary facility where the crabinoids rest overnight. Only one of them's there right now, but the others will be too once they're done testing. Now there's a couple of reasons that we have you here overnight like this. Number one is that this is really the best opportunity you're going to have to interact with the crabinoids and see how they behave, which is obviously why your company sent you here in the first place. Number two, however, is that you kind of can't really afford to risk leaving them here alone with the central experiment of the Had a Crab project, that's just what we're calling it. Our sea life experts have theorized that crabinoids are a result of extreme mutation in various crab species, so we're attempting to reverse engineer this process and create a crabinoid of our own. This crabinoid, CH-05, and the big incubation tube behind you right there, is what you're guarding this week. Quotation marks in guarding because you're really just going to be sitting here. Its incubation requires a lot of energy to keep powered on, so the building's running on a secondary generator from 12 to 6. Now, this does mean that the power you're running on is limited, so be mindful of that before you decide to mess around with all those fancy buttons you got on that monitor. Cool. Now that that's all out of the way, I guess I should brief you on what to expect tonight. CH-01, aka King, should come out of its cell pretty shortly here to stretch its legs. Legs? Yeah, I guess so. All the crabinoids have a nickname like that based on the crab species it resembles most. It's a pretty curious specimen, so you'll definitely see it wandering around quite a bit. Now, pretty much all the crabinoids are sensitive to bright lights, due to the fact that they seem to normally live in low light conditions, so if you see King acting up, shining the camera's flashlight on it should make it leave wherever it is pretty quickly. And just to make sure it stays away from CH-05, install the flash beacon above you. That's activated by the red button on your desk right over there. You can't see me pointing. King absolutely hates it, so that should definitely send it on its merry way. That should be it for now. If you forget anything I said about the cavanoids, don't worry. There's a manual on your desk that has what you need to know written in. Just remember to be careful. These are still wild animals. Alright, I'll leave you to it. We'll see you in the morning. Good luck. Hey, welcome back. Glad to see everything's still intact this morning. We really appreciate your cooperation with us. So the first thing you'll probably notice is that there's a Crabanoid in the generator room. Don't freak out. That's just where it rests. Yeah, that's CH-04, aka Blue. And, well, it's blue, and it's definitely seen better days. We have it patched up with some prosthetic machinery so it doesn't just get stuck in place all night. You'll see it get wheeled around the entire facility, including your office, but it should only pass through right in front of you, so don't worry about it screwing with the incubator or anything. Its night cycle runs off a connection to the secondary generator, so if it ever ends up in a spot that you don't want it to be, press that overdrive button and send it straight to the generator. I have been told that this connection may cause interferences with other wireless connections in the facility though, so try not to, say, look at it on the cameras when it's out of the generator room. You don't want to risk it messing with the power at all. Anyways, yeah, so Blue was pretty aggressive when we first found it, especially to the Crabanoids. One day, though, it picked the wrong fight and ended up barely clinging to life. Now it's half Crabanoid, half machine, and the other Crabanoids can't even recognize it. Oh, right! The others. CH-02. Spider. Easily the biggest of the Crabanoids, but also the biggest scaredy cat. It's so scared of bright lights that the camera flashlight will freeze it in place until it forgets what it was even doing before. That might come in handy if it decides to come towards you, as it's pretty much impossible to get it to go back to its cell once it's out. Judging by how you did last night, though, I'm confident you'll be fine. Again, don't be embarrassed to revisit the manual, it's there for a reason. And... okay, yeah, have a good night. You'll hear from me again tomorrow. Hey, how's it going? Once again, great work. We're already halfway there. Can't thank you enough for agreeing to do this, and we promise that you guys won't regret giving us a shot. The last of the Crabinoids is back in testing. CH-03, aka Yeti, is chilling out in the freezer. We had to construct a special tank for it due to the conditions it lives in. This does mean that we have to keep the freezer locked tight in order to keep it cold though, so Yeti doesn't get to walk around as much as the others. Normally it doesn't seem to mind, but sometimes it gets bored and tries to find a way out, which has resulted in it trying to crawl into the air ducts. This could be very dangerous for both Yeti and the facility, so if you see it trying to escape, crank up the heat. The hot air will dissuade it eventually. You just might have to keep it on for a little bit before Yeti backs off. Seriously though, don't let it step foot in those air ducts. We can't afford any more major damage to the facility's equipment right now with Project Haddock Crab taking up all of our time. Hell, normally I'd be the one doing this whole night watch thing if it weren't for the fact that I'd be getting zero sleep. So, thank God you're here, right? But, yeah. Should be smooth sailing here for the rest of the week. You've got all the Crabinoids with you, so take those notes or whatever they have you here. Yeah, have a good one. Hey, so I wasn't expecting to have much to say tonight, but Oliver wanted me to give you a little bit more info on the origins of the project. He's pretty impressed with your work so far in handling the Crabinoids, and don't get your hopes up, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up offering you to do this full-time. Might be a bit more lucrative than your internship. Anyways, Project Had a Crab was started after the original 4 Crabinoids were discovered, or at least that's what the video you watched says. In reality, the reason we're trying so hard to reverse engineer a Crabinoid is because of a very interesting statue we found near where Blue was discovered. the thing weighs like 1,000,000 pounds and has some unfamiliar hieroglyphs or etches on it. So we decided to leave it there. Considering what the statue depicted though, Ollie is absolutely not convinced that the Crabinoids are just some rare mutation or coincidence. And, well, who are we to disagree with him at this point? We're closer than we ever have been to creating one, and if you keep up all the good work, all of our names will be engraved in the scientific history forever. Pretty cool to think about though, huh? But, that's all I have for you. Probably won't leave you a message tomorrow, so I'll see you after the project's all said and done. Good night, Josh.
Josh, you need to get out of there right now. I don't know what Stanton thinks he's doing, but we're not interested in helping him trying to play God. This whole operation has been ridiculously unsafe and disgustingly illegal. I'm severing all planned connections with Squish Tech, and if they think they're keeping you there for one more night...
Josh, please remain in your office until your shift is over. All exits will be locked until 6 a.m., and we don't want you to end up injured or killed in any way. Your work this week has been extremely pivotal to Project How to Crab, and we are so close to being all done. Please just keep doing your job. We understand if you're upset, and we'll have arranged your trip home as soon as you walk out those doors at 6 a.m. We'll also be mailing you a physical check for exactly $5,000 within the week following your departure. Incubation process for CH-05 is predicted to complete around 7 a.m., but in the event that it completes any earlier, please remain calm. CH-05 will automatically be transported from the tube located behind you to a temporary holding tank located outside the facility. This may cause the secondary power generator to temporarily cease function, but don't panic. Functionality should be promptly restored. Squish Tech thanks you for your cooperation, and we will be there at 6 a.m. to come get you if any problems arise. Best of luck.
Attention! CH-05 incubation process has been completed. CH-05 will now be transported to its temporary holding tank. In the event that CH-05's transportation causes any major water leaks in the facility, the office's emergency doors will activate immediately to protect you from flooding. Please refrain from using the secondary power generator by any means necessary if this occurs, as it may produce electric currents in the water that could severely harm the crabinoids. Thank you. Whatever ancient race created that statue, they knew. They knew that this is what we were destined to become. Mankind has known of carcinization phenomena for over a century now. The signs were always there. And we had it. We had them. We'd seen the results with our own eyes, but now it's all gone. And nobody will ever know how to crab.